SPUFalcons.com. Here with women's rowing coach Andy Derrick. Coach, you started your second season here at the helm of the Falcons. How have things gone so far this fall?
Good. It's been nice being here for the fall. I've been here for actually 1 year to the day as of today, so it's been great getting going in a little bit more normal time frame, and it's been a good fall.
Well, happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
Yes. A lot of things different. First off, we're standing here in the shell house, which you spent a lot of time this summer cleaning up and all. Just how are you? Are you happy with things?
Yeah, this is a real selling point, a real gem for us to have a facility that's right here on campus, right on the water, and connected to the rest of the athletic department is a real feather in our cap, and it's something that we really wanted to highlight. So yeah, we just put in some elbow grease and some paint and a couple upgrades this summer, and getting it into something we can be really proud of.
Well, the shell house looks a little unfamiliar with your renovations, as does your roster. You have a lot of new faces. How have you been learning those names, and how is that process?
Sure. Our roster's 32. Of that, only 2 of which would not be eligible to race novice this fall. So it is a young roster. About 60% of that perhaps was on the team last spring as novices, and then the rest are new this fall. So a lot of new faces, but a lot of exciting people, and we've really got some excitement in the group with 2 novice classes now under our belt.
Unlike some other sports, you mentioned you take novices. You'll take athletic people who will join the team, and you essentially start from scratch teaching them to row. How do you integrate those type of people into the team?
Sure. It takes a long time to learn how to be a good athlete, but a good athlete can learn how to be a good rower relatively quickly. Obviously our sport takes years to master, but you know, those with an endurance sport background, especially like distance swimming, cross country, something like that, can make the transition really, really well. And even good athletes that know how to push themselves can make the transition pretty quickly.
Well, your primary season is in the spring, but in the fall there are some opportunities, and you have one coming up this Sunday over on. It's a head race first, so tell us. It's sponsored by the University of Washington. Tell us a little bit, rather than side-to-side racing like we get in the spring, what is a head race? Sure,
it's 5,000 meters, and most places you can't find 5,000 meters in a straight line. So what we do is we will race a curving, winding course throughout any body of water, and it's perhaps not quite as spectator friendly to those that don't quite understand what's going on, but it's great training, and it's a way to break up the training in our non-championship season. So it'll be single file time trial format. Boats will go off anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds apart by their bow number, so in order, and then you go as hard as you can for 5,000 meters and figure it out at the end who ended up coming in first.
Well, if Falcons fans do want to come out and watch Sunday morning, what is the course? Where does it start, and tell us where it goes?
Best place to watch is from the Montlake Bridge. You can see a good portion of the course from there. It will actually start in Lake Union, go around and underneath I-5 into the Montlake Cut, and then make a big sweeping turn back to the Conabera Shell House at the University of Washington. But without a doubt, best place to watch is the Montlake Cut.
Great. You have so many newcomers who have very little time on the water. What are your expectations for Sunday?
Sure. The goal is March, April, and May. So we're keeping that in mind. That's not to say that we can't and won't be successful this weekend, but I think that's going to be more of an internal barometer than it is going to be necessarily comparing how we do against other teams. We're definitely gearing up for the spring, and we've got some mixed boats out there, so we're not even stacking one boat. We've got about 5 more experienced girls in each boat, and 3 total novices in each boat, and I think we're just kind of, the goal is to develop those that we really want to develop, and put a little experience underneath their belt.
Great. And does this competition give you an opportunity to perhaps see something, or put them in a situation you just can't replicate and practice?
Sure. You know, getting to compete against other schools is the whole reason why we do this, and they'll certainly be more excited and hopefully go a little bit harder than they thought they could. So we do the best job that we can to simulate races in practice, but it's just not totally feasible, especially with a really young group. So yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Racing set up in different tiers. What other schools would you expect to be you'd be competing with?
Sure. We've got 2 boats entered in the third Varsity 8 race. Seattle U, Oregon State, Washington State are all in that race, and I think maybe a couple others. But you can compare times across the board, all 3 college women's categories, and you know, we can see what that comparison is. I think it's fair to say that whatever it is, we'll try to chop those margins down to teams that we'd like to be competitive with in the spring.
Great. Now, as a competitor in college, you competed at the University of Washington. You also competed, did some national team work. You did some head racing. How much more taxing is that on a rower rather than the standard 2,000 meters?
Sure, it's different. Some athletes would say it's easier, even though it's longer. Some would probably say it's harder. It's a lot depends on what kind of shape people showed up in the fall. It really is. It's just different. It's I don't want to say it's less intense because you are at full pressure the whole way, but it's just kind of a different animal. You go about it a little differently. It takes a little more, perhaps, self-discipline than the Olympic-style racing with 6 or 8 boats across. But ultimately, you know, you still want to win, and you're still trying to put your bow across the line first.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Coach Derrick. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you Sunday morning.
Thank you.